The game was a challenging one for the home team, as they faced a tough loss that ended their winning streak with a score of 106-96. Coming off significant victories against Memphis and the Lakers, they had shown their strength on home turf, where they also managed to defeat Denver once again. The opponent, now sitting in second place in the standings, proved to be a formidable challenge. Earlier that evening, the Lakers secured a win, and the Nuggets suffer a loss, which could have allowed the Warriors to move into sole possession of the fourth spot in the rankings. However, things didn't go as planned for Golden State. Draymond Green picked up 5 fouls early in the third quarter, forcing him to sit out for the rest of the game. Stephen Curry, usually the team's leading scorer, struggled early on, scoring only 3 points in the first half. His lone three-pointer came at the very end of the second quarter, a long-range shot nearly from midcourt. He finished the game with just 3 points, and it was a rough night for the team, as they found themselves trailing by 4 to 10 points for most of the second half. The defense of the opposition was solid, as they marked Curry closely, preventing him from getting into his usual rhythm, a rhythm that normally places him among the top scorers in the league. On top of that, the Warriors committed a high number of turnovers and allowed easy points in transition. Despite their struggles offensively, they did a decent job on the boards, but it was clear that it wasn't their night. The intensity of the game felt as though it were a playoff matchup, as expected when two teams face off for the 5th time in a season. The stakes are always higher in these kinds of matchups, where the intensity is palpable and the outcome feels crucial. When looking at the individual performances, Klay Thompson led the charge for the Warriors, putting up 14 points. He also had the difficult task of guarding the hot hand, which in this case was Curry's defender, effectively limiting him to a single field goal in 10 attempts. Curry was a mere 1 of 8 from beyond the arc, totaling just 3 points on the night. Thompson's efforts, though commendable, weren't enough, and he ended the game with a plus-minus of -4, alongside 4 turnovers, which made even ball movement and getting the ball into play difficult. Despite a tough performance from Thompson, another player stood out for the opposition, Dillon Brooks, who's not often recognized for his scoring ability. But on this night, he exploded for 24 points, hitting 10 of his 13 field goal attempts. Brooks was hard to contain, as he had a remarkable shooting night, and the Warriors struggled to stop him throughout the game. Jalen Green chipped in with 21 points, and Sean contributed 19, making a significant impact as well. A controversial moment in the game came early in the second half, when the Warriors committed 3 fouls in less than a minute, and Draymond Green was whistled for his 5th foul on a play that many felt shouldn't have been called. It was a routine play where Green went up for a shot at the basket, yet he was called for the foul, which essentially ruled him out for the rest of the game. This situation clearly hurt the Warriors' defense, as they were forced to adjust without one of their key defensive anchors. Draymond finished the game with just 2 points and a -16 on the night, a performance far below his usual standards. Even though he didn't contribute much offensively, Curry was still able to help facilitate the offense, dishing out 8 assists and creating opportunities for his teammates. Some players off the bench also made contributions, providing solid minutes when needed. The Warriors' bench wasn't terrible, but the opposition's bench was equally effective, and they managed to keep up the pressure throughout the game. When looking at the stats, it became clear that the Rockets had the advantage in several areas. They shot a higher percentage from the field, including a better showing from the three-point line. The Warriors, on the other hand, allowed more fast break points, a statistic that proved to be a major factor in the outcome. The battle in the paint also favored the Rockets, as they were able to score inside, while the Warriors struggled to finish at the rim. Although both teams struggled from the free throw line, the Warriors' inefficiency in that department didn't help their cause either. Ultimately, it was a lackluster performance from Golden State, but it's important to give credit where credit is due. The Rockets earned a victory, and sometimes that's just the way the game goes. In the early moments of the game, the Warriors had a slight lead, but by halftime, the momentum had shifted. The Rockets took control in the third quarter and never really looked back. The Warriors made a push in the final period, cutting the deficit to a single possession at one point, but they never quite got over the hump. In games like this, where a team is down and trying to rally, it's always expected that a late-game surge will be the key to winning. especially for a team like the Warriors, known for their ability to heat up in the final stretches. However, that didn't happen this time. Looking at the standings, the loss was significant, as it dropped the Warriors to the 6th spot in the conference. The 5th-place team now had the upper hand in the race, and the Warriors' next game was against that very team. Currently tied with another squad, Golden State still had the advantage, but the upcoming games were critical. A win could secure a higher seed in the playoffs, while a loss could push them down to the 8th seed, potentially forcing them into the play-in tournament instead of securing a guaranteed playoff spot. It was a tight race, and every game mattered. Reflecting on the Warriors' schedule, it's evident that losses to teams like Miami and Atlanta were costly. These are the types of games that need to be won if a team hopes to finish high in the standings. At the start of the season, it was emphasized that elite teams don't suffer these types of setbacks against weaker opponents. While the Warriors have had their share of wins, some of their losses have been particularly frustrating. The loss to Philadelphia was a tough one to swallow, and the defeat against Dallas was another missed opportunity. These types of losses add up, and when you look at the standings, the impact is clear. Looking ahead, the Warriors are preparing for a tough road game against the Suns. Phoenix is in a difficult spot, trailing by 3 games and needing to win every remaining game to stay in playoff contention. It's unclear whether they will be able to pull off a miracle run, but one thing is certain: they will be motivated to bring their best effort to the court, especially with a key player facing off against his former team. This could be an opportunity for the Warriors, as they will need to perform well on the road to keep their playoff hopes alive. Every game from here on out carries immense importance. With just a few games left on the schedule, the Warriors must win as many as possible to solidify their spot in the postseason. The Suns game is crucial, and if Golden State can win that, they will head into the final stretch with some momentum. After Phoenix, the Warriors have 2 more games that look more winnable against San Antonio and Portland. If they can take care of business in those matchups, they will have a great chance to secure a spot in the playoffs. However, it will all come down to the final few games, and the matchups against these teams will be critical in determining whether Golden State heads into the playoffs or finds themselves battling in the play-in tournament. As the Warriors prepare for the final stretch of the season, there is a sense of urgency. The next few games will shape their playoff fate, and the team knows they must give their all if they want to make a deep run in the postseason. A victory over Phoenix would be a huge step in the right direction, and the Warriors must take full advantage of this opportunity. With 2 more winnable games coming up, the road to the playoffs is still in their hands, but they need to perform at a high level to ensure they don't fall short in the crucial final weeks. Looking at the upcoming games, there's a definite sense of urgency for the Warriors. After facing Phoenix, their remaining schedule offers a glimpse of hope with matchups against San Antonio and Portland, both teams that have struggled throughout the season. However, these are the types of games that the Warriors must win, no exceptions. Each victory from here on out will be crucial to maintaining their playoff hopes and securing a favorable position in the standings. While San Antonio and Portland are considered weaker opponents, it's important to remember that the Warriors cannot afford to overlook any team, especially at this stage of the season when every game feels like a must-win. They need to be focused and hungry, playing with the intensity and determination that has been a hallmark of their past success. Looking at the playoff picture, the Warriors are in a tight race, and the battle for the playoffs is far from over. As the season winds down, every game has a significant impact on the standings. The team's goal is to avoid the play-in tournament, and in order to do so, they need to finish strong in these last few games. The margin for error is razor-thin, and even a single loss could have major implications for their playoff positioning. The Warriors are currently in the midst of a fierce competition with several teams, all jockeying for position and hoping to secure a spot in the postseason. This makes every game incredibly important, especially against teams in the same tier in the standings. With the Suns, San Antonio, and Portland all in their sights, the Warriors have a chance to build some momentum and move up in the standings. But there's more to the Warriors' playoff push than just winning games. The team's chemistry and health will play a pivotal role in their success. Injuries have been an issue all season, and with the playoffs looming, it's important that the Warriors stay healthy and continue to play at a high level. The return of key players, like Draymond Green, will be critical to their defensive efforts, and Curry's ability to shake off the struggles of recent games will be vital to the team's offensive production. Curry has been the focal point of the Warriors' offense for years, and while he's had his off nights, the team's success hinges on his ability to perform at a high level. Green's defensive presence is just as crucial, especially in the postseason, where defense becomes even more important. The Warriors' depth will also be tested in the coming weeks, as their bench players will need to step up and contribute, especially during stretches when the starters need rest or are dealing with foul trouble. In addition to the health and chemistry of the team, the Warriors will need to address some of their weaknesses from earlier in the season. Turnovers have been a persistent problem for the team, and it's something they need to clean up if they want to have any chance of making a deep playoff run. Giving up easy points off turnovers and not executing in transition has cost them in several games this season. The Warriors need to be more disciplined with the ball, especially in close games where every possession matters. Their three-point shooting has also been inconsistent at times, and they'll need to find a way to knock down shots more consistently. While Curry is one of the greatest shooters the game has ever seen, he can't carry the load alone. Other players like Thompson and Poole will need to step up and contribute offensively, especially when Curry is being heavily defended or off his game. As the Warriors approach the final stretch of the season, they must also keep an eye on the bigger picture. Their goal isn't just to make the playoffs, it's to make a deep run and contend for the championship. With the right mindset and focus, they have the potential to do just that. The key to their success will be consistency, execution, and teamwork. They need to come together as a unit, with everyone playing their part, in order to make a real push for the postseason. The next few games will be telling. If the Warriors can secure victories against Phoenix, San Antonio, and Portland, they will put themselves in a great position heading into the final stretch. But they must remain focused and take it one game at a time. The road to the playoffs is challenging, but with the right approach, the Warriors can make it through and prove that they still have what it takes to compete for an NBA championship. Beyond the immediate task of winning games, the Warriors also need to make sure they're peaking at the right time. The playoffs are a different animal, and the team needs to be playing their best basketball in the final weeks of the regular season. This means tightening up defensively, getting better ball movement, and making sure they're getting good shot selection. The team also needs to maintain their energy levels, especially in back-to-back games and on the road. The Warriors have always been a team that thrives on their intensity and ability to play with pace, and they'll need to lean into that strength in the postseason. It's not just about winning individual games. It's about finding their rhythm and hitting their stride at the right moment. The Warriors have been through plenty of ups and downs this season, and they know what it takes to succeed in the postseason. With their championship pedigree, they have the experience and the talent to make a deep run if everything clicks. However, it's going to take more than just talent to get there. It's going to take hard work, focus, and determination. The Warriors must approach the remaining games with the mindset that every game is an opportunity to prove themselves, to get better, and to prepare for what's to come in the playoffs. There's no time to waste, and every game matters. If they can stay healthy, play together, and execute at a high level, they can still make a run at the title. But it starts now. The next few games will set the tone for the rest of the season, and the Warriors must be ready to rise to the occasion. There's a lot at stake, and the team must give it their all to make sure they don't miss out on their chance to compete for another championship. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. In a moment that sent ripples through the NBA community, Kevin Durant may have reignited old tensions with a subtle, but unmistakable, provocation aimed at the Golden State Warriors. During a post-game interview following the Phoenix Suns' narrow win over the Sacramento Kings, Durant dropped a cryptic comment when asked about his time in Golden State. "I was part of something great, but greatness isn't always appreciated until it's gone." While the quote seemed benign at first glance, NBA insiders and fans alike are convinced this was a calculated swipe at his former team and the fan base that never fully embraced him. The speculation gained traction after Durant liked a tweet comparing his time with the Warriors to a toxic work environment with trophies. That single tap of a heart button reignited debate that had somewhat settled since his dramatic exit in 2019. It's no secret that KD's relationship with the Warriors fan base and some former teammates has always been complicated. Despite leading Golden State to 2 NBA titles and winning back-to-back Finals MVPs, Durant was often portrayed as a hired gun, a narrative that seemed to linger even after his departure. What truly set the internet ablaze was Durant's interaction during the Suns' recent matchup against Golden State. After draining a dagger 3 in the fourth quarter, KD appeared to glance toward the Warriors' bench and mouth. "Remember who made you unstoppable." The camera didn't fully capture it, but lip readers and social media detectives were quick to fill in the blanks. The moment, subtle yet loaded, hinted at Durant's lingering belief that he was the missing piece that turned a great team into a dynasty. Former teammates have been tight-lipped, but Draymond Green's recent Instagram story, featuring a cryptic quote about real ones leaving shadows, not footprints, added fuel to the fire. The tension between Durant and Green, once aired publicly during the 2018 season, seems far from resolved. Meanwhile, Warriors coach Steve Kerr declined to comment directly, only saying, "We respect KD, and what he did here speaks for itself." That diplomatic response only deepened the mystery. While Durant continues to chase another ring with the Suns, this unfolding drama reminds the NBA world that some rivalries don't need playoff series or physical altercations. They thrive in whispers, glances, and tweets. Whether KD's comments were intentional provocations or misunderstood reflections, one thing's clear. The Golden State chapter in his storied career remains as complex, fiery, and unfinished as ever. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.